Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And before I get started with this video, if you like it, please drop a big thumbs up on it. That way it helps out more than you can imagine. If not, thumbs down works as well. And if you like knife content, you're not already, smash that subscribe button. All right, today I'm going to go over some of the knife innovations that have happened while I've been into the knife community. That's just something that I like. I enjoy, the different aspects of knives, different locks and things that make using knives easier. And y'all let me know if that's something that y'all like. I'm guessing if y'all clicked on this video, y'all are either interested in seeing what I'm talking about or y'all enjoy it too. And I would definitely like to know, I'm not going to be able to hit them all. If I miss some, please let me know down below. I know some of the people I'll be talking about have so many different things. I couldn't do them all in one video. But let's get started. First off, we're going to start with the Dimkos brothers. They have just done some leaps and bounds in the lock, changing the lock, making the lock more sturdy. And we'll start out with their Triad lock. I don't know if Dimkos did the Triad lock by himself or it was him and Lynn Thompson, but nonetheless, he definitely had his hands on the Triad lock, and that is no doubt about it. It is a super strong locking system. Basically, what they did was modified the normal. Let's see if I have one. I don't have one right here. The normal back lock. Like a normal back lock like this. All a normal back lock like this does is it has a spring right here, and then there's a little hook on the end of this with a channel cutting the blade. And when it opens, this falls into that little channel. And Andrew Dimkos saw a way to improve on that. So what he did is added this stop pin right there. So let me show you a regular back lock doesn't have a stop pin in there like that. And basically, I'm not an engineer or anything, but basically what's happening here is this is still falling into the blade, but that stop pin is sandwiching those two in between, so it has no movement. So, there's no way for it to pop out. Somebody has a better explanation of it, you can say it down below. But while we're on the Dimkos, got to talk about the Scorpion lock on the AD15. This is the cold steel version, but he designed this Scorpion lock, super cool. One cool thing about it is it's self-adjusting to wear. So, the more the face is wearing stuff, this little pin right there is spring loaded, so it's going to keep on pushing down there. So it also, whenever you're putting pressure down like this, it's keeping this thing closed. It allows it to be one hand opening. You pull it out the way, and very cool nonetheless. Something that kind of gets me going. I like seeing that. If you don't have any innovation, then things get boring. There's only so many different blade shapes they can do. So you got to add something new to the system. And that's basically what Andrew Dimkos is doing here. Cool knife and cool lock design. So then after that one, he went ahead and made another cool lock. And that is the shark lock on this 8020. That is here on loan. Man, oh man. I will say there's a lot I love about this new shark lock right here. I'm guessing it got the name from that fin. And I don't really know all the mechanics on this. You look in there, there's another little pin right there. And basically you pull this back, pull that back, and there's another hook right there. So it seems like it's kind of like the Triad lock, but with a different means of unlocking it. This thing makes so many awesome noises, but that is the shark lock from Andrew Dimkos. And I read somewhere that he claims that this lock could hold about 1,400 foot-pounds of pressure. That is, it's just ridiculous. Nothing that any human can put on there themselves. You can break the blade before you break the lock. All right, so we have the Dimkos. Then, I mean, you can't talk about knife innovation without talking about the kings of knife innovation, Grant and Gavin Hawk. Just, man, they're some geniuses. I don't know how they think of some of the stuff they do. You got their ET lock from back in the day. That was a toggle system. Kershaw picked it up, and it was the Kershaw ET. It was a funky looking knife, but it was cool nonetheless. Then they had the mud lock. That was a sealed system, so it sealed the button. I mean, it sealed the locking mechanism, so no dirt and debris could get in there and stop it from locking. And it sealed the pivot area. And ZT picked it up and created a mud knife. Never owned that one. Then he also had the deadlock that CRKT picked up on the CRKT DOG. It was the deadbolt over grab step. I don't really know what that means. And then the one that I'm going to be talking about today was from the Buck Marksman. And as you can see, it has a strap right here. That is the SLS lock. Very, very innovative name there. The Strong Lock System. Basically what it is a strap lock. And the cool thing about it is, well, first of all, you can keep your fingers out of the path of the blade, so you're not going to cut yourself one-handed. And this strap right here can be adjusted through this little hole right here. You can pull it forward and back, and then you can loosen this up as well, so you can adjust the lock. So if you start getting any play and up and down play, you can pull it back some and it'll create more pressure. It has a locking, like a little cutout right here, so it springs just like a frame lock would, and you just pull up on that, and it basically creates once it releases, there's no friction in that blade whatsoever. So it's on bearings, super smooth, super cool locking mechanism. Only thing that really ever bothered me was these little grooves, and as you can see, I kind of took mine down some so they weren't as sharp. But great action, definitely a fidgeting knife. You could definitely fidget once you get used to that lock. You can fidget for days, and it's a strong lock. One that also putting pressure down on is going to also keep it from closing as well. So that is the SLS lock, my bad. And he also created the tie lock for Chris Reeve, and the Ram lock for Kershaw. Just tons and tons of lock systems that they keep on pushing out. Next up is coming from a guy named Esnik Tan from Malaysia. This guy is also very, very meticulous about his work. He's very big on symmetry. His first knife that he created was the IFS-20. He created 5 of them, and it was basically a knife that was put together without any hardware. It had dovetails and stuff. I saw it first, I think, on Wieners and Steel back in the day. Super cool knife. One of them went for like $8,000 in an auction, and another one, I think, went for like $18,000. So his custom knives put up, I mean, a huge margin. There's not a lot of them out there, so that's going to create demand for them. But what we get to see as a production knife was one of his knives, the Minwe Mini Buster. Very cool knife. You could definitely see all the symmetry. Look here, turn it around. You still have everything symmetrical, blade grinds. If you close it up, you can see how he's got the little channel right here to show you, the symmetry of the whole knife, everything cut out. Let me see, open it up. You got the cutouts on the inside like that. Everything is symmetrical on this knife. And another innovation that he used on this knife was the locking. That little round circle right there is a pin that acts as the lock face in the open position. Let's see if I can show you that. It's it's like sitting above the lock face, right? I mean, the frame lock right there, and it's contacting that blade. So super solid lockup. And also it's creating the detent in the closed position. If you can see right there, it's sitting right on top of that thing. So one cool thing is it's just the same as like a flat detent, where it gives you that crisp opening. It's definitely a unique feeling to the opening. Very smooth knife and cool nonetheless. SNX Tan has graced us with some pretty cool innovations. Alrighty, next up is coming from Terrain 365. That is a company started by custom knife maker Michael Vagnino and Patrick Ma of Prometheus Design Works. And I don't know if this has been used before in the past. I'm sure it has, but this was the first time I had seen it on this knife. This knife is completely 100% rust proof. The blade is not, it's not even steel. It's a cast metal, a cast material called Terravantium. It's supposed to be, it's completely rust proof, non-ferrous, non-magnetic, and it's supposed to hold a decent edge. It's weird because it doesn't really feel super sharp to the touch, but it does have bite to it. You're not supposed to have to touch it up a whole lot. I've been needing to test this one, but I hadn't got around to it yet, or the full gauntlet just to see, and I want to see how hard it is to sharpen, but definitely cool nonetheless. There you go. Very smooth knife too. Alrighty, next up is coming from custom knife maker Jason Guthrie. This is his Scout model, and he has a patent on the lock face on this one, kind of like this knife right here, using this steel barrel. The Scout has patented, it's called the, the GTI, the Guthrie tungsten insert. And basically, instead of that barrel, there's a press fit tungsten piece that is creating the lockup. So it's gonna extend the wear on the lock. Tungsten can be HRC'd up to 90. And while we're talking about the tungsten one that is patented by Jason Guthrie, I don't know who used this first, but just like on the Chris Reeve Sabenza 31, and I think it's on the Inkosi as well, instead of a tungsten insert, there's a ceramic insert that is creating the lock face. And ceramic is HRC'd at 80 HRC. So it's going to be harder than any blade steel so far that I know of that is used on production knives. So the tungsten insert on this one is HRC'd at 90, at least that's what Guthrie has in his bio, and then ceramic at 80. So really cool. I do have some I do have some issues with this one that I'll probably be doing a video here soon if y'all are interested to hear about it. But this one, no problems whatsoever. Alrighty. Next up, let's see, what is next? Next up is coming from an overseas company, Artisan Cutlery. They came out with their new, kind of like a rendition on the Axis Lock, I think it is. And that is their Recoil Lock. Basically, instead of having like, a bar down here that pulls back, you can pull this back right here. And as you can see, it moves, it's spring loaded and it shifts back right there. So it definitely can be a fidgety knife. I thought about putting a thumb stud on this one because it'd be easy to open, but that kind of takes away the fidgetability. But I love seeing, even if it's just an improvement on a lock, or, something that makes using a lock easier. I think, it's awesome. I know I like seeing it. I don't care who's doing it, because whoever's doing it, there's a lot of people that aren't. So I like seeing that kind of stuff. I don't know, like, y'all, I'd love to hear if y'all like seeing stuff like this. Or even if it's just a play on a, something that's already out. And speaking of that, the next two are kind of like that. And this next one is something that was designed by a buddy of mine, another fellow YouTuber. His name's Justin. His channel's OCD for EDC. Go check him out if you're not already. Well, my biggest problem with the Spyderco Kapara was using that compression lock. I threw this knife across the room a few times because of how thin this one is. And he came up with this little tab system called his CME. Basically glues onto the compression lock, and that way you can easily close it. I don't have to pinch in there. And I know it's made me like this knife all over again. He made it because he's a lefty, and it's very hard for lefties to use a compression lock. And as you can see that I just did, and I'm not a lefty, I was able to close this knife with that compression made easy. Very cool. Love seeing it when it's one of our own and not a huge company, but I like it either way. Another guy who did something kind of like that was coming from Bauer Blade Works, and it was on the Spyderco Smock. Basically what he did is he took a compression lock like on one of these, and so you didn't have to reach in here. He created a button, as you can see, that pushes it over. Can you see that? It pushes it over, keeps your hands out of the blade path, and you don't have to reach in there to try to disengage a lock. Now, the only thing that I have noticed with these, and I don't know if it's just on this design, but that's why it looks a little funky right here, because as you can see, it has to be able to fit the blade in there and wrap around that post. I'm sure there's some other way you could do it, but see how the stop pin's right there? I don't know if you could shift it forward, but definitely cool nonetheless. And these two aren't really, I don't know, not really new things, but stuff that's, hit the community with force is the use of front flippers on knives. That wasn't really that big of a thing. I don't remember any old production knives, at 10, 12 years ago with front flippers. No, in South Africa, you see that's what they would use as flippers a lot, and that's where I think they came down from in South Africa. I'm not sure, but I know a lot of people are enjoying that, and that's a cool little innovation. And then this one, not really, I don't know. The powdered steel is usually on the higher end super steels, and it was cool to see CJRB come out with their AR RPM 9 in the budget arena as a powdered metallurgy steel. That's just something cool. So y'all let me know anything that y'all think that that's been cool in the last, or just since you've been in the hobby. Any new locking systems? Like I said, I know Grant and Gavin Hawk have a lot more. I didn't want this video to be an hour long, but I also know, I don't have the knife on me right now, but I have a, what is that tungsten blade knife that has that SNX tan inspired lock on it as well. But my buddy Justin from OCD from EDC has got that right now. So there you go. There's the video. If y'all like this type of video, y'all let me know. Let's have a little discussion down below what y'all think. And I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.